With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Owning a boat comes with a number of perks, like being able to say ahoy or land ho and not feel weird about it. So here's another perk. Geico's boat insurance offers access to the largest towing fleet on the water. And with specialist support from agents that are as passionate about boating as you are, there's so much value that you'll want to say, shiver me timbers, and not feel weird about that either. Get more with Geico.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. As always, I'm your host, Woody Overton. I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all, and today we're going to be continuing probably one of the most interesting episodes in hashtag Justice for Hailey. Last week, you got to hear Miss Barber do her victim impact statement, and what did you think about the fact that the judge had to get on to Brooks and his attorney for talking during the middle of the impact statement, right? Classy on their part, disrespectful as hell is what I say. But today, you're going to get to hear from the man himself, Brooks Cleary, and his attorney's going to question him, and he's going to say what he's going to say. And again, notice how the story changes. And then the assistant district attorney gets up and has words with him. So it's just over an hour long, this recording. So I'm not going to take too much of your time, but I want you to listen to it. And it's just, we got to get justice for Hailey, y'all. After this episode, we're going to do one more of some things that have happened since then, and which are going to shock you, which we have some video of that we'll put up for Patreon and convicts also. And then we're going to do the call to action, and we're going to need each lifer to share and to, if you are so inclined, to do the contacts that we give you to reach out and point out that we're going to give you the actual factual list of everything that he said and changed and everything that has and hasn't been done in the investigation, why this isn't a murder case, and why it should be a murder case. But that being said, thank you again, and we're about to play Brooks Cleary on the stand in the courtroom in Georgia after his conviction, and listen to what this shitbird has to say.
Brooks Cleary.
All right, you can testify from
right here.
Well, you have a preference. You already can testify from right there or up here.
You also have to go up there.
I do.
Brooks, go ahead and tell the court who you are, what's your name.
My name is Brooks Michael Cleary.
Now, you sat through 4 days of trial, and you heard all the evidence. Let me just start off with, I know you, and how long were you and Hailey together?
Roughly 4.5 years, going on 5.
And about how old were you when you first started dating?
Freshly 16. Might even have been a couple weeks before I turned 16.
And at what point did she move in with you and your mother?
I I would say probably about 5 months into us dating.
And how old would she have been at that point?
I believe she would have been 16.
And were you living where your mother is living now?
Yes, sir.
What was the reason that Hailey moved in with you and your mother?
There was a disagreement between her and her mother, to which Hailey decided that it was either, live there and not have very much freedom at all, or, take the chance to come live with me and my mother and, just help out around the house, and that would be basically, rent.
And you did not have to pay rent?
No, sir.
Now, did your mother also pay for Hailey's phone as well, your phone?
Yes.
Other expenses?
Yes, she paid for the gas in the vehicle for me and Hailey to drive, especially when we were looking for jobs. She also fed us, and she never made us pay like water bills or power bills or anything like that, so showers and power were free and everything.
And at some point, you moved with Hailey into an apartment, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What was the name of the apartments?
It was Campus Edge Apartments.
And that's the same apartments that that the incident occurred in?
Yes, sir.
How many different apartments did you live in at the Campus Edge?
2 separate apartments. We first moved into a smaller one, and then they offered us a premium apartment, which just means it comes with a washer and dryer unit.
Okay. And were you both working at that point?
Yes, sir.
And where were you working?
I actually had a couple different jobs throughout us living at that apartment complex. First, I believe it was at a car wash detail spot named Cactus Car Wash. And then secondly, I was a chef at Andretti's, go-karting and stuff.
All right. And where was Hailey working?
She worked at Rocket Fizz on the Marietta Square.
And when did you become engaged to her?
It was her 20th birthday. So she would cry, if I did it in public, and I know she would be embarrassed if I did it that way. So I waited till 12 o'clock to where it was officially her birth date. And I said, do you want me to give you your present right now, or do you want me to give it to you later, kind of as a surprise? She was like, I'd rather have it right now. I don't really want a surprise. So I told her to close her eyes and everything. I got down on one knee. I put her little hand in my hands, and I said, will you marry me? And, of course, she immediately started crying. She was happy, saying, yes, 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 oh, my God, yes, So I didn't tell her, but later in the day, we went to the square. I just made it seem like we were getting coffee and walking around like we did a lot. And I said, well, we might as well just hop into the Hamilton jewelry store real quick and see if you see something you like, just so I know what to get you in the future, And she said, okay, yeah, that sounds like fun. So we went in there, probably about 30 minutes. She's trying on all different kinds of rings, And finally she found the one that she loved. She said, this is, it's real simple. It's beautiful. It's not too over the top. It's classy. And I said, okay, well, you like that one? And she said, yeah, it actually fits pretty good too. So I said, okay, cool. And I pulled out my debit card, handed it to the lady behind the counter, and I said, we're going to get that today. And Hailey immediately was like, no, it's too expensive. Like, we can wait on this. And I was like, no, you said you like that one. That's your genuine reaction to the ring. So, yeah, we'll get you that one. We got it and went out to lunch and had a little celebration and everything.
Well, now, there was the shotgun that was in the apartment that day. Where did the shotgun come from?
So for my 18th birthday, Hailey was asking me, what would I want for a gift? And I said, it'd be nice to go hunting again and everything, because I hadn't been in a while. After my grandpa passed, I kind of just, stopped going. But I said, I'd love to go squirrel hunting or quail hunting or turkey hunting, something like that to kind of bring back good memories. And she said that seems like it would be healthy, a good thing to do, get out into the woods for a few hours every once in a while. So she recommended that we go get a shotgun because that fits, the animals that I want to hunt. I don't really want to go after big game or anything like that. So we went to a pawn shop. I filled out the background check, and we used her money to pay for it, but it was in my name.
Right.
And a couple days later, we went back to the shop, picked it up, took it back to the apartment, leaned it up against the wall.
Okay. And now, at any point, did you teach her how to use the shotgun?
I did. I thought, since we lived, I think 0.2 miles away from the Greyhound bus station, it's a real high crime area. I thought it would be really beneficial in case I was at work and some, guy tried to kick in the door or something like that, to where she would know how to protect herself by using the gun. So I taught her all the gun safety, don't put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to use it.
All talking, well, let me ask you this, why did you not call on your own phone?
I couldn't find my phone. I later found out that my phone and Hailey's phone was in Mazda Devouty's car. So that was the only two.
Do you remember telling Austin Meeks that your fiance was stroking out and to call 911?
I have no recollection of what I said. I do remember saying 911. I said, call 911. After that, it's blank. I just completely blacked out. I ran up the stairs. I remember just running up the stairs. That's it.
Do you remember seeing her on the floor?
I do.
Do you remember there was blood on the wall?
I didn't see that. No.
Do you recall there being a shotgun somewhere on the floor?
No, I never saw the shotgun.
Do you recall sitting on the shotgun?
No, I don't.
Do you recall holding her in your arms in the apartment?
I do.
On the floor?
I do.
You do recall that?
I do.
Do you recall the police officers coming inside and looking for Hailey's body? Do you recall that?
No, I don't recall that happening. I have no memory of it happening, but after hearing, the last 4 days of the trial that we went through, I do know that is what happened.
Do you recall the firefighters coming in and talking to them?
No.
Do you recall going to the interview room with Detective Nudie and Detective Foster and speaking with them? Do you recall that?
I remember small, clips almost, more of photographs than actual conversation.
Did you recall them telling you that Hailey was deceased?
I do.
And do you recall your response?
I do.
What was your response?
At first, denial and confusion. At that point, I really didn't know why I was there. In my opinion, my brain was trying to protect me from really realizing what was going on. When they told me that she had passed away, like I said, I was in denial at first, then kind of confusion, then shock, and then complete distress. She was the love of my life. She still is the love of my life. I'll never love someone as much as her. She was my best friend. From the moment we woke up to the moment we went to sleep, we were tied at the hip, unless we had to go to work. And even still, I was texting her all day long. She was texting me all day long. We would talk on the phone during work. We were pretty much inseparable.
Do you recall people asking you if you heard a shotgun blast?
I do remember them asking me that. They said something along the lines of, when did the gun go off? And I never heard a shotgun go off. I never heard any kind of gun go off. So that immediately confused me. And when they were persistent on that, I said, go check it for forensics. it'd take you guys, 10 minutes to figure out if a gun was fired or not. I had no idea that it went off.
Do you recall Barbara Johnson coming to the jail and talking to you about what happened to Hailey?
I do recall some of that, yes.
Did you tell her, did you ever say, I didn't do it?
Yeah, something along those lines. I was like, I'd never do anything to hurt her. I mean, that much is clear.
Right. Do you recall Austin Meeks, your neighbor, the one that you told to call 911? Do you recall him coming into the apartment and trying to do CPR on her at all? Do you recall him being in that apartment?
I do not. I didn't find that out until the trial.
All right. At some point in time, did you think that maybe you blacked out? And that's why you could not remember all the pieces?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I think there was testimony from the officers that if you had to put it in terms of shots, how much you and Hailey both drank, you said something about 15 shots.
Right. I actually believe it may have been more than that, but yeah.
Okay. And when did you start drinking?
We all know I love me some tacos. They're great every night of the week, not just Taco Tuesday. But Cindy really wants me to eat healthier this year, and Factor's chef-made gourmet meals have made eating well easy. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for my busy lifestyle. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goal. Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto, Factor has it all figured out. My favorite meal has been the jalapeno sweet corn polenta and chicken. Imagine a whole chicken breast marinated in lemon juice, garlic, and smoked paprika, grilled until juicy and topped with a zesty salsa verde. It's served over a creamy Parmesan polenta loaded with diced jalapenos, corn, mozzarella, and scallions. Bell peppers, red onions, and cauliflower are served on the side with fajita spiced butter. It was delicious and nutritious. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use Factor Podcast to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. March is Sleep Awareness Month, the perfect time for you to think about the quality of your sleep and how the mattress you choose can make all the difference. Avocado Green Mattress is committed to providing mattresses that not only help you sleep better, but also are healthier for you and the planet. Did you know that with the right mattress, you can improve your sleep quality by up to 50%? If you're not waking up refreshed and ready to tackle the day, it might be time to consider Avocado and their sleep-enhancing design. Cindy and I love Avocado for so many reasons. Not only are the materials organic and free of chemical and toxins, Avocado mattresses promote better sleep through breathable, naturally temperature-regulated materials, which is so important to our sleep right now. Did I mention there is a mattress to fit your needs too? Avocado offers gentle to firm to plush mattress comfort and support. Take their quiz to find out which mattress and comfort option is right for you. Avocado stands by their products too. They offer easy financing options with a firm, sleep trials up to 1 year, and options to try before you buy. Head to avocadomattress.com today and save up to 10% on certified organic mattresses. Dream of better.
Approximately 10 a.m.
All right. 10 a.m.
Yeah.
All right. So all day and all night.
Right.
Do you recall being thrown out of Anchor Bar?
No.
They told you about it?
After I'd been incarcerated, yes.
Okay. What would you like the court to know about you? Tell the court, who you are, other than this person that's, now been, pronounced guilty.
I just turned 22 in February. I used to, have a lot of hobbies. I used to like working on cars. I used to like hunting. I used to like taking pictures of nature and stuff like that. Recently, that's all kind of been gone by the wayside. I don't do any of that anymore. I have no interest in doing that anymore. Sorry. I like to take care of my family. I'm really the only one that's there for them. My mom can't leave the house with my sister, so that kind of all falls on me, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I like to spend time with my family, my mom, my sister. I like to, go outside and grill for them, and we come back inside and we, might watch a YouTube video or something like that. Just on our little phone, because we don't have a TV or anything, I work as much as I can. When I'm not at work, I'm at home. I don't go out anywhere. I only have one friend, and he's my coworker. And
what happened to your friend Mazda that came and testified? How is your relationship with him now?
Non-existent. I did try to talk to him after I got bailed out, and he didn't, want to talk, which is understandable. I mean, this has been hard on everybody. This has been a living nightmare, and it continues to be. So I do understand that.
At what point did you find out that Hailey died from an intraoral shotgun blast through the mouth, through the back of her head? When did you find that out?
I found out during a jail call with Barbara and Stella. And
what did they say to you?
I can't remember exactly word for word, but I think I had said something about referring to the police, saying, they said a gun went off. I never heard a gun go off, and she was like, Stella was like, well, she was shot in the mouth. I was like, what do you mean in the mouth? And she said there was a shotgun blast in her mouth. And that's when I found out, I kind of started piecing together what happened that night, because at this point I'm still completely in the dark.
Well, you understand what she took her own life.
I do understand that now, yes.
All right, and you're not charged with a homicide, correct?
I do know that.
And the concealing the death charge, that's the most serious offense. Under the circumstances, do you think you did everything you could to help Hailey?
I do.
How? Why? How did you try to help her?
Well, when she wasn't responding, I was talking to her and she wasn't responding, and I rolled her over a little bit, and her eyes were open, and I was like, kind of shook her a little bit, and I was like, baby, like, if you're gonna lay on the ground, you might as well just go lay down in the bed. Like, why are you on the floor? And then she still wasn't responding, and her eyes were still open, but she wasn't like focusing on me. And normally she had very large pupils, but when I rolled her over and saw her eyes, her pupils were very small, which is not normal at all. So then I started getting really scared. I believe that's when I kind of went down to my knees, almost in like a sitting Indian style, crisscross applesauce. I put her up on my lap, and I was, trying to get her to respond. She wasn't responding. After that, I only remember little clips of running and getting help, telling them to call 911. And I went back upstairs to see if, maybe there was anything I could do. I had no idea what had happened at that point. But, I'm not familiar with the law, maybe as much as I should be. I'm also not familiar with medical terms or how to render medical aid. So I just did what I thought was the best thing to do in that situation.
According to Austin, who the neighbor that you contacted to call 911, he said you said that your fiance was stroking out. Explain that to the best of your ability under the circumstances.
Right. Well, I do not recall saying that, but that is a slang term that I have used in the past. It could be related to a bunch of different things, just like other slang terms can.
Do you recall Austin trying to give her CPR and moving her body?
I don't recall seeing that, no.
Is there anyone else that can help your mother at home now?
No.
That you're in custody?
No, sir.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to say to the court?
I know this has been very hard on everybody. I can't imagine how hard it's been on Miss Johnson and Stella. It's been very hard on me and my family, too. I can't sleep. I don't really laugh. It's rare for me to even cry at this point. For the first, year of this going on, I couldn't help but cry myself to sleep. I have horrible nightmares of finding her over again, and it's just been horrible. My life is going to be changed forever at this point. I'll never love anyone the same. I still wear our wedding ring every day.
You have it on now?
I don't, because they took it.
Right.
But I would be wearing it right now if I could.
Okay. That's all I have, Judd.
You do realize that this being difficult on everyone is because of your actions, right?
Could you rephrase that question?
You realize that this has been so traumatic on Miss Johnson and Stella because of your actions that day?
I suppose.
Okay. How often did you regularly black out?
It depends. Some weeks we wouldn't drink that much. Some weeks we would. I would say both of us probably blacked out at least once a week.
And you want your testimony is essentially you blacked out that night.
I wouldn't say it was just due to alcohol, even though I was severely intoxicated. I would say it was due to trauma, complete stress, and just my mind almost just was broken.
All right, well, let's talk about being severely, you said what, severely?
Intoxicated.
Intoxicated? Okay. You're saying you're severely intoxicated based on all the drinking y'all did that day, right?
Correct.
Okay, but I assume you've looked at your own medical records, right?
No, I have not.
Okay, you never went through your own medical records?
No.
Okay, are you aware that you have a liver of a 60-year-old lifetime alcoholic?
I'm not aware of that.
Do you agree that the behavior we saw on camera doesn't really look like someone who's severely intoxicated?
I would say it does, but...
Okay. Would you agree that all of your statements during that interview were coherent?
No.
Okay. Would you agree that you were able to communicate with Austin Meeks?
No.
Okay. So what about firefighters?
Like I said, I didn't remember even speaking to them at all, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay, well, I want to talk to you more about your memory. You said that you don't remember going to the neighbor, but then you gave us details as to exactly what you said to Austin Meeks and running down there and banging on doors. right?
Right, that was information that I gathered throughout the trial from his statement and from others.
Okay, well, you just testified that you remember running and banging on doors, did you not?
I remember small clips, not the full sequence of events.
All right, now you say that you don't remember Anchor Bar at all.
Correct.
All right, so you don't even remember arriving at Anchor Bar.
I have no idea where Anchor Bar even is.
All right, and so to your testimony, you don't recall humiliating Hailey while you were at Anchor Bar?
Nope.
You don't remember any of this despite the fact that Mazda says you were fine on the way there.
I have no idea anything about Anchor Bar.
Do you remember Hailey being humiliated?
I do not.
Do you remember her being mad at you?
No.
Do you remember her wanting to leave you?
No.
Do you remember her getting you out of the car and putting you back in the apartment?
No. I actually believe during Moss's testimony he said that I seemed to walk up the stairs fine.
Okay. But you don't remember anything?
No, I do not.
Do you remember talking to Aaron that night?
No.
All right, why is it that all of a sudden you remember nothing, but you didn't care to tell law enforcement that?
I'm sorry, can you elaborate on that?
You never told law enforcement you don't remember any of this. You never said I blacked out.
Correct. I don't remember that interview. I remember little pieces. That's it. I don't even feel like I was in my own body during that interview.
Okay, well, let's talk about your conversations with Barbara. You never told Barbara that you were blacked out drunk, did you?
I told her we were very drunk.
Did you tell her you blacked out?
I did not use that term, I don't believe.
Did you tell her that you don't remember anything at all that happened?
Yes.
Well, what about the calls where you say you heard the loud thump?
I said I believe I heard some kind of thump.
Okay, well, isn't that different than not remembering anything at all?
Well, when you ask me a question 30-something times and something this traumatic has happened, you tend to want to, say something that might help someone, put someone at ease, maybe make some sense out of it, because I'm trying to make sense out of it. Even still, till this day, I have no idea.
Okay, let's start with the more basic stuff then. You agree Hailey was actually 18 when she moved in with you, right?
Moved into my mother's house?
Yes.
I don't believe she was 18. I think she was actually freshly 17.
Okay, so you disagree that she was 18 years old when she moved in with you?
I do.
All right, now you also said that she moved in with you because she got kicked out. Isn't it true that Hailey was defending you and her mom didn't like you, so she chose to leave her mom's house?
You could word it that way, I guess.
Okay, because Hailey loved you, right?
Correct.
I mean, she chose to be with you.
Correct.
She chose to live with you.
Yes.
She defended you no matter what.
Yes, as did I.
Okay, and her family didn't really like you.
Right, well.
Right, and she still chose to be with you.
Correct.
And she still chose to defend you.
Okay.
All right, and she helped your family, right?
Yes.
She helped Kelsey.
Yes.
She would bathe Kelsey.
I think that might have actually happened on one occasion, because it would be a bit odd for me, being a grown man, to bathe.
I didn't ask you about that. Hailey helped Kelsey, right?
Sure, the whole family did.
Okay. And when it comes to the phone bill, I mean, Barbara paid for the phone bill. You know that.
I don't recall that, but okay.
Okay. But y'all had a pretty toxic relationship. You agree?
I would say we got into arguments.
Okay, you got into a lot of arguments to the point that Mazda would actually have to intervene, right?
You could word it as intervene, but more of just like, I don't know, he would hear both of us talk about it and he'd say, you guys are basically on the same page, you're fighting over nothing.
Right. So he had to mediate or calm things down between the two of you, right?
I suppose you could say it like that.
And you've gotten neighbors' attention before because of arguing and everything else, right?
Yeah.
All right. You called her a bitch before?
Not in like a demeaning way.
Okay. You called her a bitch in the interview?
Yes, in the interview I said she could act like a bitch.
Okay. And you had anger problems?
I can get angry, yes.
All right. And you punch things?
I haven't passed.
You have boxer fractures on your hand, both old and new?
Yes, but not all from punching things.
All right, now, when it comes to racking that shotgun, you said that it's loud.
Reasonably. I mean, not loud, but we were both pretty sober at that point, at least I was. And even still, it took me a few seconds to realize what was going on. Then I heard, something that sounded like a shotgun rack, and once I got in there, I realized she had racked it.
You previously testified it's very loud. Do you recall saying that?
I may have misspoke. I mean, it's reasonably, you can hear it, yeah.
Are you trying to back up a little bit?
No.
All right. You agree that actually firing that shotgun is louder than racking it?
Yes.
All right. Now, this whole allegation that Hailey was suicidal, you never told that to police?
As I said before, I don't recall even being interrogated for the most part. I didn't know what had happened that night when I was in that room.
So you tell Austin she stroked out, right?
I believe that's what I said.
Okay. You said that she fell, right?
I suppose.
You told law enforcement that she fell.
Yes.
You told fire that she fell. All right. You told law enforcement that she busted her lip. Okay. And that was your explanation for why there's blood all over the walls.
I didn't say that was one. I never saw the blood on the walls, actually.
Okay. So you said that you were talking to her and she's not responding, right?
Correct.
All right. You said you rolled her over. You said you looked at her, right? You got to answer out loud.
Yes.
Right. Where did you roll her over from?
What do you mean? She was on her shoulder.
Where?
Right where, it's kind of hard to describe without. So there's the futon on the left-hand side. There's a coffee table in front of the futon. And then to the right of that, there is kind of like where you would put food after you make it, or like ingredients that you're going to use while you're cooking, that little countertop. And then there's the hallway. She was right in between the futon and the countertop in the hallway on the red and blue rug.
Okay, so you agree you moved her body?
I would not agree with that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, technically, yes, by rolling her over.
Okay, but it's your testimony that she was already there.
Yes.
Okay. Despite all the testimony you heard during trial, that would be impossible.
I'm just telling you what I recall, what I remember seeing and what I remember happening.
All right, now you denied hearing the gun, right?
Correct.
All right, but you also told Barbara that you heard the gun, or you heard a loud boom, right?
I did not say loud boom, that was Austin Meeks. I said I might have heard like a thump or something, because I was trying to figure out why I was in the bedroom, and then turned around and went into the hallway, because, I didn't have my socks on or anything like that, and, I turned around as if I had a reason to turn around, I just didn't know what it was.
Okay. Your mom didn't believe you, did she?
My mom was very confused with the situation, as was I.
She told you that nothing you said made sense.
Correct.
Okay. She said there's no possible way you didn't hear that gun go off.
She said, how could you not hear it go off? I could hear it go off from about 2 blocks away, I believe is what she said.
She said it sounds like a cannon.
Yes.
Okay. She did not believe this idea that you just didn't hear the gun at all, right?
If you're trying to insinuate my mother thinks that I had something to do with this, or thought at the time that I had
That's not what
something.
I'm asking. She did not believe you. As it relates to the gun and not hearing the gun, she did not believe you.
I suppose.
Okay. But you moved the gun.
I don't recall.
Okay, so you have no recollection of moving the gun towards the door
I have no
before you went to that
recollection of
office?
seeing the gun. I have no recollection of hearing it. I don't know where it was.
Okay, so you have no explanation for how that gun ended up underneath clothes and you sitting on top of it?
No, I don't recall ever seeing it.
You agree that Hailey didn't put it there?
Correct. I mean, I don't see how that would be possible.
Okay, do you agree no one else was inside your apartment?
I didn't know Austin Meeks was in the apartment, but yes, I would say that no one else was in there.
But you said you went down to get neighbors,
Yeah.
which would include Austin Meeks.
Yes, but I didn't know he came up.
All right. Now, at what point did you notice the blood all over the walls?
During the trial, when they showed the photos.
That's the first time you claim to have seen the blood on the wall?
Yes.
All right, so did you not hear Austin say it looks like a murder scene in here?
No, as I said before, I didn't even know he was in the apartment. I had no memory of him even being there.
But you remember holding Hailey?
I did.
You remember looking at her face?
Yes.
You described her eyes very clearly, right?
Puffy. One was puffed.
When I say clear, I don't mean clear in her eyes, but you described that thoroughly.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember having blood on you?
Yes. I held her, and I noticed that my hand had blood on it, and I started hyperventilating and crying, and yes.
Okay, you remember rubbing your hands on your pants and rubbing your hands together?
Yes.
All right.
Well, I don't remember at the time. I did see it on the tape.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? I know Sydney was, and if you're a woman, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living rent-free in our environment right now, found in our food, water, and even in our skincare products. These disruptors can wreak havoc on our hormones. Believe me, before Hormone Harmony, I watched Cindy suffer. Not anymore. Hormone Harmony's formula, made only with herbal ingredients, have reduced Cindy's hormonal symptoms, and it helps women of all ages. Then there are the natural hormonal changes our bodies face, such as menopause. While these processes are part of life, they don't have to be uncomfortable. The good news is that you don't have to suffer through it any longer. Hormone Harmony contains science-backed herbal extracts known as adaptogens, designed to help the body cope with stressors, including those chaotic hormonal fluctuations that can disrupt your daily life. Whether it's PMS symptoms like irritability and cravings, or menopause symptoms such as hot flashes and night sweats, Hormone Harmony can help with it all. Happy Mammoth, the creator of Hormone Harmony, is dedicated to improving women's lives by using only high-quality science-backed ingredients. They make no compromises on quality, ensuring that you receive the best support possible. This isn't just a supplement, it has become a phenomenon. Women are talking about it everywhere, with a bottle of Hormone Harmony sold every 24 seconds. And the most important benefit, women express feeling like themselves again. A sentiment echoed in over 30,000 positive reviews. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com. Don't forget to use the code RLRC for 15% off today.
Owning a boat comes with a number of perks, like being able to say ahoy or land ho and not feel weird about it. So here's another perk. Geico's boat insurance offers access to the largest towing fleet on the water. And with specialist support from agents that are as passionate about boating as you are, there's so much value that you'll want to say, shiver me timbers, and not feel weird about that either. Get more with Geico.
Told your mom you're going to prison a long time.
I did not say that.
Do you want me to tell your jail call for you?
I can tell you exactly what I said.
Okay, tell me what you said.
I said, look up what happened to Hailey. I had no idea what's going on. It seemed like they're trying to pin this on me. I think I might be in here for a long time.
Think you might be in here a long time. When you said it seemed like they were trying to pin this on you, you didn't get angry about it, you didn't get upset about it, right?
I was currently being held at Cobb County Detention Center. I have not withdrawn from alcohol yet. And to be fair, this has been a year and I believe 3 or 4 months since that day, which I would say is a long time. So if I had not been bailed out, I would have been in there for quite a while.
At what point did you black out?
I don't know. I mean, I can't really remember that entire day. Like I said, I remember little bits because we started drinking as soon as we woke up, both of us. We still had, I would say probably about a glass of whiskey left in the bottle before Hailey said that she was going to go across the street to the liquor store and buy more.
What time was that?
Huh?
What time was that?
let's see, we had about a quarter of a handle, which is 1.75 liters of whiskey. We drank pretty much all of that, except for that glass worth. So I would say that must have been, I don't know, maybe 11:30, maybe 11:45. I wasn't really watching the time or anything.
Did you black out at 11:30 in the morning?
It's quite possible because I don't really remember the rest of the day after that. But I do know that we continued to drink.
How do you know that?
You could see the whiskey bottle on the counter of the apartment. It was halfway gone.
Okay, so do you remember what it looked like before you apparently had a blackout?
I remember I drank the rest of the whiskey that we had left. I asked her if it was fine that I finished that while she go get more. She said that was fine. So I drank that. And then she brought a brand new bottle back, same size.
And you continue drinking that?
Yes, we both did.
But you don't remember when Mazda picked you up?
No, I don't.
Does it surprise you that Mazda said both of you were fine at that point?
Not really, because both of us had gotten pretty good at being intoxicated in public. Both of us would take flasks of whiskey to work with us. So, I would go to the bathroom, take a shot of whiskey, maybe 2 or 3. She would do the same. By the end of our shift, say it was 6 to 8 hour shift, we would have drank about, I don't know how to put it into liters or ounces or whatever, about that much whiskey each. And then when we get home, we'd continue to drink.
Okay, you're drinking that much, how often are you blacking out? You said once a week?
So yeah, once a week. Because like I said, we both had a fairly decent tolerance. But it was to the point where we could maintain, the image that we were fine until we were just too far gone. Which would, I guess, be considered blackout. I think it would be.
When did you go to your bedroom?
I don't know. I don't know what time it was.
How do you remember going to your bedroom?
I don't remember going to the bedroom. I remember looking, it was like I was looking at my feet. And I remember the bedroom carpet. And all I remember is like turning around, stepping into the hallway, and there she was.
Because you heard the gunshot?
I don't know why I turned around. I just did.
When did the blood get on your bed?
I have no idea.
Change your clothes?
No, ma'am. Not to my recollection, no. I mean, I was wearing pretty much the same thing all day, I believe. When we woke up in the morning, I wasn't really wearing much of anything. Neither was she, which is typical. We usually would stay like that till probably, 1:30 in the afternoon and on something.
Now, you claim that Hailey tried to kill herself previously and y'all were actively in an argument, is that right?
Correct.
She basically did it kind of in spite of you, right? According to you. Was she trying to get a rise out of you?
I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, but she did it in front of you? This alleged attempt?
She took the firearm, the shotgun, and went into the back office room and shut the door.
Okay, but you didn't think that was important to tell police when they're investigating this death?
As I said, I did not even know what was going on. I didn't know why I was there. I didn't know that she passed away at the point. I had no idea what was going on.
Okay, but you admitted to Barbara that you actually knew she was deceased prior to that police interview.
I believe I worded that wrong. What I meant was, in hindsight, now that, I've had probably about a week to think about it, and I've gone through a really long detox process at the county jail, that it would make sense to me that she had passed. I just didn't believe it or accept it or acknowledge it or, however you want to phrase it at the time. I had no idea at the time.
But I'm talking about the fact that you acted like you had no idea she was dead at all, right? You remember that?
Correct.
Okay. You agree, you knew she was deceased?
No, not at the time. But after looking back on it, hindsight, yes.
Did your hands go to the back of her head like everyone else's?
No.
How do you know?
Yeah, I think I would remember it. I don't know. I do remember I was holding the back of her head and something felt off. I believe I told Barbara that over a jail call. It felt kind of like her skull was like broken.
After those 6 jail visitations, 4 of the 6 jail visitations with Barbara, you never reached back out to her?
I was told not to contact anyone involved in the case, or else it could be a bond revocation. I wanted to really bad. I actually have a few things of hers. There's a knitted blanket. I believe she called the lady who knitted it her granny nanny. That's been in my bedroom. It's right by my bed, so every day I wake up and I look at that. I would love to.
But you never told them what exactly happened when you spoke to them during the jail visitations, right?
Like I said, even to this date, I'm still trying to piece things together. I have no idea.
But you never said that to them?
Said what?
You never said to them, you don't know what happened or you blacked out?
I don't know if I used the term blackout, but I do believe that I said I don't know what happened.
But you gave them details. You talked about arguments y'all had that evening.
I didn't recall an argument, but after about, I don't know, the 10th time that she asked, were you guys arguing? I think I said maybe. She said, well, what would it have been about? I think I said, usually it's about bills, or sometimes she'll accuse me of cheating on her, something like that.
You don't recall her accusing you of cheating that day?
I don't, but through the testimony of Erin O'Connor, in one of the police reports, she said that she could hear Hailey calling me a homewrecker and a cheater, and also me telling Erin O'Connor that Hailey thought that I was cheating on her, or going to, or something along those lines.
You studied these police reports, huh?
No, I've just heard them and tried my best to remember. I actually have never seen a physical copy of anything.
Okay, so you said that it was understandable that Mazda didn't want to talk to you anymore.
Correct. Because if I was to hang out with Mazda, I would always insist Hailey come along. And if I was hanging out with Hailey alone and we wanted to do something fun, I would insist Mazda come along. It was kind of like the Three Musketeers. We were always together if we were doing anything.
So this didn't surprise you that this didn't actually bring y'all together and be able to comfort each other and talk to each other about Hailey? That didn't surprise you at all?
I did initially, but like I said, I can understand where he's coming from. It's a horrible thing to go through, and maybe just hanging out with me would make him sad or remember it more, or whatever it may be. But I can understand wanting to better his career and everything like that, focus on that.
If you loved her so much, why not just tell the truth?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
I'm not sure why I have to explain that question. If you loved her so much, why not tell the truth?
I'm telling the truth. Everything I remember, I've been upfront about.
I object to that question. I think that's badgering the witness.
Overruled. Yes, everything that I I've said here on the stand and to my attorney, Mr. Graham, everything that I've said has been everything that I remember.
This is the first time you're saying that. You agree?
This is the first time I've taken the stand, yes.
Okay, and this is the first time that you've said these statements.
Correct. I've never been asked after that interview in which I was highly intoxicated.
You never decided to go talk to the police again, talk to your mom, talk to Barbara, nobody at all about what you claim to be the truth today?
I've talked to my mother about it, yeah. They told me not to contact anyone. They told me not to go back to the apartments. They told me not to talk to anyone involved in the case, specifically witnesses, which I assumed, Barbara would be called in as a witness, so I didn't want to get my bond revoked.
You didn't care to get this message to her in any other possible way to put them out of pain?
I was told legally not to. I would have in a heartbeat. As soon as I got out, I actually was going to write a letter. I asked my attorney if it was a good idea. He said, probably not right now. So I decided not to.
So you decided, so you're essentially asking the judge for mercy on your future to say something. When it benefits you.
I don't understand what you mean.
The first time you decide to say anything that you claim to be the truth is when you're asking for mercy on your future.
I'm not asking for mercy on my future. I'm just up here telling you what I know and answering questions.
Do you agree that it is horrible as a mother to not know what happened to your child?
Yes, I do. I would say it's possibly the worst thing that could possibly happen to anyone ever.
Just a moment. Anything further?
No question.
Mr. Graham, do you have anything else?
That's all, sir.
So, first of all, I would note it's incredibly hot in this courtroom.
It
This
is.
is a problem with Georgia weather, and last week was cold, and it's now warming up, and the building has not caught up. So, does anybody need any additional water or anything like that?
No, Your Honor, thank
I
you.
could use one, sure. I've about drank my entire cup. But we are closing arguments. The state gets to go first and last.
We'll reserve for last, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Graham,
Judge, there or here?
I'm fine with wherever you want.
All right. If it may please the court, I will remain seated.
I'm okay with that.
Thank you. So, as the court is well aware of the evidence presented by the state the last 4 days, and we strongly deny that the first count, concealing the death, there was not enough evidence to show that Brooks Cleary committed that offense. What the state did, they tried to litigate a homicide inside of a concealing the death. And by doing that, they poisoned the water. Now, you heard the evidence, and the evidence was that Brooks came in, he saw Hailey in the floor, he tried to get her to respond, couldn't get her to respond, he looked for his phone was left in Maz's car, he ran door to door, knocking on doors to try to help, not conceal, to try to help. He finally was able to get Austin Meeks to answer the door. He screamed to him, my fiance is stroking out, call 911. He runs back to the apartment to try to help Hailey, to try to revive Hailey, to try to resuscitate Hailey in only the way he knew how. He's not a medical examiner, he's not a doctor. He doesn't even know how to do CPR. But Austin did. Austin testified to this court, and to the jury, that he came up and the phone was in hand when he was talking to 911 dispatch, while at the same time the jury could hear, the court could hear, that Brooks was on the floor trying to revive Hailey, his fiance. And the jury heard that Brooks was crying and trying to, don't die, don't die, don't die. And the testimony from Austin was, she looks dead. He tried to do CPR. He testified. He moved her body to help try to do CPR, but recognized immediately, within seconds, that she was deceased. And he also testified it looks like a murder scene. He also said, because at that point in time, he didn't know if it was a homicide, a suicide, or what. He said it looks as if he's trying to hide her head. As if. All right, well, as if is not concealing the body. It is not hindering a discovery of a death. He saw immediately when he came to the apartment. When the firefighters got there, they all testified. We walked into the apartment. He's right there in the floor in the same room where she died. Right there, and moved a few feet from where she fell. They had to tell Brooks, stand up, sit on the futon, sit on the couch. He did as they instructed. He sat on the couch, the futon. And that is where they made it more ominous. He sat on the shotgun. Well, they told him to. They told him to sit on the shotgun. That apartment was such a mess. How anybody would know where anything is, I have no idea. But the idea that it's concealing a death because you moved the body a few feet from where the body fell is so disingenuous. It's like someone goes to an apartment complex, sees someone in the bottom of the pool, thinks they're drowning, jumps in, grabs them, brings them out of the pool, calls 911 and says, I think somebody's drowning. They get there and they said, wait a minute, you said the body was in the pool. Why did you move the body? Well, I was trying to resuscitate. I was trying to revive this person. I didn't know. Well, how do we know if it's a heart attack or drowning or stroke? How do we know it was a drowning? How do we know? Well, okay, to make it simple, the body's here. Nobody's hindering the investigation. So, but let's do this. Let's do this. If the body's in plain view, and also I cited the Walker v. State case. The court's very well aware of it. And in that case, as the court is also well aware, just moving a body from the floor to the sofa without more is not concealing a body. There has to be more. You said from the beginning of this hearing, the examples of some of those concealing the body. Her body was in plain view. Now, how the state was able to litigate a homicide inside of a concealing the body, their own expert said there was no gunshot residue on his hands, on his clothing. They even said he was not near where the incident occurred. Now, what did the state do? They walked him back. They did not like the fact that he said he didn't have any gunshot on his hands, residue on his hands, his clothing, wasn't even near the incident. So they walked him back. However, It's possible. Yes, it's possible. He could. But he did not. He said, I stand by my conclusion, which was did not. Had it changed it, it would have said it was indicative of gunshot residue on his hand, indicative of gunshot residue on his clothing, indicative of being near the... However, he also stated, the medical examiner stated, they didn't even test, even though there was soot deposit inside Hailey's mouth, that the barrel of the shotgun was so far deep into her throat that there was a small laceration to the tongue, and it was so far down in the throat, they couldn't even take a picture of it. Now, the matter of death, and the court talked about that at some point with us, manner of death, the cause of death. As you heard the testimony, the medical examiner said, I can't rule out suicide. Well, he'd seen, and I asked him on the stand, did you see the pictures that the state had of Hailey after the fact of her body, after it had been moved by firefighters and other folks besides Brooks Cleary? Did you see that picture, which was heinous? Yes, I saw that. Why would they need to send that unless they were trying to influence the medical examiner? However, he said, I cannot rule out suicide, so I'm going to make it undetermined. Natural, accident, homicide, suicide. Well, no gunshot residue on him. I asked the medical examiner, did you test gunshot residue on Hailey? No, I didn't, because we automatically assume that because of the nature of the intra-oral gunshot wound to the head, she's going to have gunshot residue on her because of the gas. Now, what is disingenuous as well, Judge, is the state referring to a gunshot wound to the head. Well, that's not telling the whole story. That's kind of an inflammatory statement. She suffered a gunshot wound to the head, and he tried to conceal her body. That doesn't tell the whole picture. How can one hinder an investigation of a discovery? That's the gravamen of the Walker case, is a discovery of a death. So the fact that all the witnesses came in and said, I asked the witness, firefighters, how long did it take you to see that she was dead? As soon as, within seconds. I walked in the apartment, there she was. I didn't have to go look for her. There she was. Within seconds. That is not concealing a death. That is not hindering an investigation of a death. Why would to take it to another level, if he actually was trying to conceal the body, or conceal it.
We'll cut you off because repeating your argument.
Okay.
I've heard it, okay?
All right.
But there are 3 other counts. And I also want you to tell me, this is a sentencing hearing.
Okay.
What do I do about it? What do you think I should do?
Okay.
That's your opportunity to argue. I mean, I've heard your argument.
Okay.
So you have to take the next step, which Mr. Graham is, you have to tell me what you think is an appropriate sentence for the 4 counts that he was convicted of.
Okay, so that's where you want me to go.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Okay, yes, sir. All right, thank you. On the count 1, that's obviously, Your Honor, that is the most serious offense. We wouldn't even be here. The interference with the property, it is what it is. He did what? He did tear the door handle? Yes, he did do that. Yes. He did punch the wall. He hit the wall with his head. He headbutted the wall. Now, arguably, he could have suffered a concussion at that point. We'll leave that to the mercy of the court. We'll leave that to the mercy of the court. The false statements, the count 4. The count, now,
if the court is to believe the testimony, the jury found him guilty, yes. Knowingly, I don't know. I don't think he made the statements knowingly. The testimony he made today was he didn't recall more than half of the things that were said. And they would have been in his best interest. I didn't talk to any neighbors. They asked him, if I told you were talking to your neighbors, would you say, yeah, that's a lie? Well, obviously, he talked to Austin. He tried to get help. Yes. So that was obviously, would have been in his best interest, but he didn't even remember. He didn't remember telling the firefighter that he talked to a firefighter. He didn't even remember that. He didn't remember talking to police officers. So with that, on the false statement again, whether it was done willfully, knowingly, done fraudulently, Judge, I think it's, in the total scheme of things, but let's talk about the concealment debt, okay? I would like, this is my first preference, I would like the judge to vacate the verdict. I would like the judge to throw it out.
You filed a motion, okay, for new trial.
Right.
Most of the arguments
okay.
of the sort that are going to be made, I understand.
Right.
At the motion for new trial, that is not right now.
Okay. If you were going to sentence him to count one, I would pray that you, again, take all the consideration, the case law that I have cited, to, if anything, just probation. Just probation. And he suffered enough. The court realizes that there is, I don't want to speak for the court. Based on the statements you've made from the bench, you did say you had some problems with it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Concerns.
Concerns, okay. So with that said.
Precision of language is important.
I understand, Judge. And I respect you for that. I would ask for, again, based on what you heard today from his own lips, I would ask for probation on that. He's a good man. He's a young man. He's got plenty of time to get his life in order. He had a drinking problem. Absolutely. Many people do. Many people don't find themselves in the situation that he was in, or Hailey was in. But it's so unfortunate that Hailey, in my view, took her own life. It's so unfortunate. But I don't want that to be the cause that Brooks goes to prison for count one. I just, again, I'm his attorney, so obviously that's my argument. I don't think the jury got it right. And I don't want to see an innocent man on that count go to prison, because there's plenty of people that are innocent and went to prison because a jury got it wrong. So that's what I'm asking is probation, if he violates probation, he's going to be put in prison, put in jail. So that's what I would ask.
Your Honor, much of Mr. Graham's argument is really argument for motion for new trial. At this phase, we are concerned with sentencing on the counts for which the jury has found this defendant guilty. And that's really what I want to focus on. I think the fact that all of Hailey's coworkers came during trial and today speaks volumes of the person that she was. Obviously, you heard from Barbara and you heard from Stella, and every family member is going to love their sister and their daughter. But the fact that her coworkers came, and not just today, but throughout trial, really tells you the type of person that she was, and that she was extremely loving. I've only ever had in one other case coworkers show up in support like this, and I just think it says a lot. And not only did they show up, but clearly they've been tremendously impacted by this case in the same way that her family's been impacted. I think what's clear to Your Honor is that Hailey took care of everyone around her. She took care of her mom. I mean, driving her little sister to Emory for 4.5 months every single day to go visit their mom says everything about Hailey and the type of person that she was. She obviously had to take on a role very young, essentially as a mother and a sister, in order to take care of her mother when her mother was struggling the most. She obviously took care of Brooks, and she loved Brooks, and that was clear even from the defendant. She took care of Brooks's sister. She took care of Brooks's family. I mean, she was just a caring person. She took care of her coworkers, planning a wedding without anyone even having to ask her to do anything. Just tells you the kind of person she was and why this has been.
All right, there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth. I think the assistant district attorney did a good job. I think Brooks Cleary is obviously lying, and, you know, it's somewhat shocking to the senses, but what do you expect at this point, right? So he's convicted for those charges. We need to do what we need to do to get them to bring this to the grand jury with all the evidence that's been put together that we presented to you over all these weeks. And I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for liking and listening and sharing, and hashtag Justice for Hailey. And I'm Woody Overton, your host of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. Until next time or ever, don't let me catch you down on Murder Bayou. Peace.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to paint their door a vibrant shade of blue. Others have the need to decorate their bathroom with fish, anchors, and other nautical items. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.